Hello, beautiful soul pleasers. You know, yesterday on the live webinar, we all had so much fun because we were talking about lots of really important things. But one of the things that I love to talk about is being true to yourself. So some of you will have read my book, Find the Real You, Love Her, so that you can live the life you choose. And that starts with finding the real you. And not only do you find the real you, but then you align with the real you. And Gary Zukav, in his book called The Seat of the Soul, talks about aligning your personality with the soul. And another way of describing that is honoring yourself or being true to yourself. And what we're talking about in the terms of self is self with a capital S. So the self that is the truth of who you are, or your soul, or that larger, higher being of you. And so we talked about this on the webinar yesterday, and it's always the case that whenever I open up a conversation, I attract lots of circumstances into my life that give me more stories around the particular message that I'm teaching. And so I've had a couple of conversations today that has really been great in terms of examples of that. And one of them was with a lady who has had great success in her life, and during one of her businesses, the business started to go downhill, and eventually they closed the doors of that business. And through her journaling, she became aware that energetically she had left that business. And she stayed because she didn't want to let other people down. She stayed to be nice, to please other people, to meet other people's expectations. And she didn't speak up. She didn't speak up and say, I'm ready to move on from this. And so aligning your personality with your soul, or being true to yourself, or honoring yourself, means that we're going to continuously grow. And so we're going to be loving something and really feel like we're on our path until we outgrow it and we're no longer feeling like we're on our path. And when you recognize that, it's important for you to honor it and to take action in alignment with that. And then I was speaking to one of my clients and coaching her through abundance in her business. And we pointed out some great examples of abundance in her past. And it was really interesting to realize that although she has evidence of abundance, the real fear is that it doesn't last. And so she had also experienced times in her life where abundance just flowed, and it was just easy for her. And at the time, she used the comment, you know, I had more money than I knew what to do with. And so it was with ease in that period of her life. And then there were other times when things were tough for her. And so what she is experiencing, or the limiting belief that's the driver now behind her choices and therefore her outcomes, is that abundance doesn't last. And when we traced it back, we looked at the way things started to change. And again, we were able to point out that things started to stop flowing, which includes the energy of money. So that energy stopped flowing when the energy was no longer one of love. And so aligning yourself with the energy of love by doing what you love, and honoring yourself by doing what you love, will bring that abundance back. So if you're interested in knowing more about this and you missed out on my live session yesterday, I have recorded it, and I've got a link here that you can click on now. Give yourself an hour, so settle in, put up the do not disturb sign, have a cup of tea, and just take a deep breath and relax, because there is some life-changing information in that webinar, particularly if you feel like perhaps you're not always being true to yourself. I would love to hear your feedback once you've watched the webinar.